Hi family, welcome back to the channel. I pray each and every one of you guys is doing well today. So I'm back again with this message in regards to your kingdom marriage, and it's coming from the song Staring Down by Collective Soul. I have never heard of this band before, and I've never even heard of this song. And so you need to understand, I was in a store one day, and you know, there's music always playing on the intercom, and all of a sudden this song resonated with me. And once I got home, I looked it up and it totally resonated. But I sat on it and I sat on it and I sat on it for about 7 days, and I felt like God was like, so what are we doing? And honestly, once you read the lyrics, it's such a prodigal song, so I don't even know what my issue was. But anyways, it goes like this: loosen from my pride, oh that monster, he kept me so tight. I threw my aces down just to face the here and the now. So here I go again, I want to please. Here I go again, sweet I sleep, sweeter I dream. I've been looking, I've been staring down. I've been searching, I've been staring down. And your love is what I found. As cautious as a thief, oh, but restless with all of my needs. Now I stand before all I want and all that I adore. And your love is what I found. Long days, long nights, just blinded by what was already in sight. Now I found my way home. Yea, I found my way home. I can't make this up. The prodigal sons, they run me down. They run me down, okay? So like I mentioned, this song just like came out of nowhere while I was out and about. Yeah, all of that. So loosen from my pride. We've talked numerous times about how, you know, pride is one of our biggest issue, I believe, that a lot of people face in our society, and pride keeps people bound. Pride is a demon, I believe. And it says, oh that monster, he kept me so tight. Okay, we've talked about how your person struggled with a lot of demons, you know. Their demons could be like tons and tons of insecurities, you know, feeling insignificant, feeling unworthy. They could even struggle with alcoholism, drugs, just all sorts of things. Sin, it's really sin. Sin keeps people bound, okay? Sin keeps people bound. And this person struggled with a lot of pride. You know, it says, I threw my aces down just to face the here and now. It's like finally they decided to face their demons, okay? And that's what we all need to do. When we struggle with our insecurities, which is our demons, when we struggle with issues and things, face it. That is how you conquer it. You have to face them. You can't just be like, well, they're not here. You know, when you disregard them and pretend they don't exist, you're never going to fight something you don't think exists. It's when you face them, then you have a chance to get rid of them. All right. So your person finally decided to face their demons, right? It says, so here I go again, I want to please. It's like they decided to face their demons, and you know, they're trying again. They're deciding to do life again. They're deciding to take that next step, to take that bold step, okay? Because I think for a long time they were trapped. For a long time they were filled with fear, or they were probably trapped in a counterfeited relationship, or whatever the case is, you know. And they feel finally free, because sin, your demons keep you bound. You're not literally, but you're in a prison cell when you have demons tying you down. All right. And it says, here I go again, sweet I sleep, sweeter I dream. Okay, life is better. Life is getting better for this person. And remember, everything starts with them. Before they come to you, they need to be whole. Before they come to you, they need to be a whole person. They need to get themselves to a place where they're going to be good for you. Okay, you do not want a man or a woman coming to you when they haven't done the work. They haven't faced their stuff. They haven't worked on themselves. You do not want that. Don't. So yeah, sweet I sleep, the sweeter I dream. Great. I've been staring down, and your love is what I found. They found love in you. You are their love. You are their person, right? But it says, now I stand before all I want and all I adore. They look at you and you're what they want. They adore you. They adore the person that you are. They adore your character. They adore your personality, right? It says, and your love is what long days, long nights, just blinded by what was already in sight. Do you know, sometimes something can be right in front of you and you do not see it. Someone can be right in front of you, and God has a way of putting your person, like, sometimes people marry people who they worked with, right? And you may have worked with this colleague your whole working experience, maybe for the last 10 years, and all of a sudden God reveals to you that that is your person. Okay, sometimes God will put your spouse right under your nose, and you see them with your physical eyes, but you never saw them with your spiritual eyes until it was time, until God revealed that to you, until he opened up your eyes, and you're like, and once you see it with your spiritual eyes, you can't unsee them. If you guys used to be friends before, and then now you can see them with your spiritual eyes, you can't be friends anymore. You know what I mean? Because you've gone to a different world, right? But yeah, it says just blinded by what was already in sight. And when I read this lyrics, this part, I think of the song. It's called Somebody by Reba McEntire. I used to love that song. I mean, I still do, but I used to listen to it all the time. But it's where this man used to go to a diner, and this waitress used to always serve him. And he just always saw her as a waitress, a friendly face. He never saw her as a spouse until one day his spiritual eyes were open, and he was like, how come I never saw this? It wasn't time. But that day when he saw her, that was the time. Okay, so sometimes your person would be right in front of you. Okay, they would be the person down the street, next door neighbor. They'll be your work colleague. They'll be your whoever, a friend of a friend of a friend. All right, and all of a sudden God reveals them to you, and you're like, okay, it's not always like this, but sometimes it is, and God is really funny about it, right? It says, now I found my way home. I found my way home. And we've talked about home, prodigal, for the last 3 years. Okay, your person will find their way back home, but it takes time. It takes the work. They have to do the work. To get to a place. If they don't find wholeness within themselves, they'll never be whole for you. Let me tell you, you want women, you want men to find that within themselves. A lot of people are looking for love from people who don't love themselves. They're looking for joy and loyalty and faithfulness and all the good things that relationship should bring. They're looking for all of that from somebody who can't even give it to themselves. When you're able to give it to yourself, that is the prerequisites that tells me that you've done that part, and now you can give it to somebody else. A lot of people, they don't have the prereqs, but they just trying to go straight into core. Nah. Get your prereqs, ma'am, sir. Get your prereqs together. Okay? Get it together, and God will let this person know, like, when it's time for them to come towards you. They're not going to be perfect when they come towards you, but they need to have done some work. All right? Yeah, you want wholeness from them, but yeah, you are the person they adore. You are the person they adore. And now I found my way home. Okay, sometimes people go through stuff. It's like part of life. They get lost. They go in a different direction. They get lost. They struggle with things. You know, as God's chosen people, you know, the enemy is constantly after God's chosen people. He's constantly trying to send distractions their way and all of that. So the struggle gets really real. All right, but the goal is for them to find their way back home. And home, you represent home. Okay, home is where you are. Home is where you are. Okay, so trust and believe. God is doing a work in these marriages. There's been a lot of testimonies so far, and I'm so excited to hear it. I'm so excited to see it. You know, it shows that God is on the move, and He is continuing to do things, and He's still in a miracle working business. All right, so keep on holding on to the promises that God has given to you, not the promise that you gave to yourself. Not the promises that you've given to yourself, but the promises that God has given to you in regards to your marriage. All right, friends, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, think about subscribing. Talk to you soon.